We've been asked, but I mean, obviously last week you were limited. How you feeling after the game on Saturday?
I feel really good. A lot better than I thought I was going to feel, but, a little sore, a little banged up, but I feel really good.
Do you anticipate missing any time in practice this week right now?
Maybe a little bit limited, but, obviously I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot more than I did last week.
Do you make up for it with film work and stuff? Just try to do a little bit more in that regard?
Yeah, definitely whenever you can't do as much physical work, you try to make up for it in the mental aspect side of things. I'm gonna watch the same amount, if not more, film in Illinois than I did against Wisconsin, and just move on and progress.
When do you start looking at game film for say Illinois, the next opponent? Like that night of the Saturday night?
Maybe take a peek over them or glance over them on Saturday night, but start pretty heavily on Sunday and Monday.
How hard is it when you're playing? Because you play the way you play, but the coaches want you to protect yourself. You've been banged up. I mean, there was a run where you turned the corner, put your shoulder into a guy to get a first down. The touchdown run where you kind of dove in. I guess I know you can't think about it, but I mean, how much does that enter your mind before the play or while you're playing that? You gotta walk that line of being aggressive but not being reckless, I guess.
Yeah. In the moment, in the play, you're like not really thinking about it too much, but as soon as it happens, it starts to go through your head. Your shoulder starts to talk to you a little bit. You're like, hey, that one kind of hurt a little bit. Maybe let's lay off of those. But, in the moment, you're not really thinking too much, and you're just trying to be a ball player.
Brendan, your time as starter has coincided with E.J. Williams' return as wide receiver. How much does it help for you two to both kind of be in the same game, rhythm at the same time? And how much have you developed that rhythm with E.J.?
Yeah. Ever since E.J. got here back in the spring, we've had a good connection. Obviously, we've been putting in work over time, and I feel comfortable with him out there just like every other guy I got on this team. So whenever he's out there, I'm going to trust him to go make plays, and he does. So.
Coach Gary said he thinks your biggest improvement has just been game management and kind of knowing situations and scenarios and stuff. I guess, how do you think you have, how has that grown for you?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I did a good job taking care of the ball on Saturday, and that's a big part of the game. If you can win the turnover battle, you'll have a good chance to win the game. And I try to just make smart decisions, but I also got to continue to be aggressive and manage the game while being aggressive and making some good decisions.
Do you think part of that is just more reps you get in game instead of just practice, just kind of?
Yeah, practice. Obviously, going against our defense every day is a huge help, but being in game situations as well, it's just over time, it's just going to continue to progress.
When you have a week where you don't practice as much like you have this past week, does it feel any different when you're trying to get settled into the game at the beginning?
I was actually surprised how quick I felt settled in, not practicing very much last week and getting as many live reps. But like I said, I felt really mentally prepared and ready to go. So once I got out there on Saturday, I felt good.
Is there anything over these next 3 weeks that you want to improve on?
Just keep being aggressive, keep managing the game well, and maybe a little bit more explosive plays, just creating plays, and but just continue to take care of the ball and just find ways to win games.
When you go back and evaluate the film, looking at the start of the second half, what kind of contributed to not being able to move the ball as well as in the first half?
I think we might have just came out a little flatter as an offense. Obviously, we had that good drive right out of the half, right after, the defense had that long drive on them. But, we had a good drive. We just didn't finish, and, they brought a lot of pressures and stuff. So, I got to be better. I got to extend plays, help my guys out too, and just can't come out flat.
That final fourth quarter drive, being able to rectify some of that kind of stuff and get into a position where you guys can essentially make a game with game-sealing field goal. What kind of was different about that drive, do you feel? Or was there anything different?
Really nothing different. We just preached to the offense like, hey, we got to have this one. We got to go on a drive here. And, that was kind of the message every other drive too. Maybe they just played really good defense and stopped us. But, just felt really good on that last drive and had to be aggressive, and we were, and went down and trusted Freeman to make a kick, and he did, and we won.
Curious what your thoughts are on Donovan McCoy's catch on that ball.
So whenever I threw it, I was like, that thing's pretty high up there. I know Donnie can jump, but this one's going to be a tough one. Then he caught it, and I was like, it's nice to have guys that can go up and make those plays for you. It makes you look a lot better than you are. So I'm glad we have Donnie on our team.
Have you ever seen a better wide receiver drive than that one? Because I know he had the play too where he stayed up off the ground too.
Yeah, that was a crazy drive. Like I said, I'm glad we have Donnie on our team, and he's not on the other team. He's a special player and goes makes his best plays.
He said he may have sold the pass interference at the end a little bit. Do you think so?
To be honest, I didn't even see it. I was like, I threw that ball high, like I was rolling out, I got hit hard. I was like, and then I hear everybody going crazy. I'm like, no way he caught that one, right? Like, there's no chance he caught that one. And then obviously there was a pass interference, so I was like, I'll take it. But obviously I was more so throwing that one away than anything. Trying to be smart. So.
Brendan, I think Rod was saying earlier that he's kind of pushing really the entire room more on a leadership front. What's the message, I guess, how's the message kind of changed since he took over?
Yeah, he just wants us to be a lot more vocal. Not saying that like Coach Bell or anything didn't, but Coach Gary really preaches us and tells us that this is our offense, that we got to be the ones that run it, and those guys got to trust us when we're out there. So he's preaching that to us, and we just got to continue to execute.
I spoke with your high school coach last week. He said freshman year, mentally and physically, you were pretty crazy. He said,
Dude. Yeah, I was like 5'2", 5'3". Like if you would ask anybody in that high school, there was no chance I was going anywhere. So, luckily I grew, and I spent a lot of time in the weight room and throwing with some QB coaches, and here we are.
When you reflect on that, I think like 5 years since you were 5'2", 5'3", is it kind of crazy to like think about how far you've come in that time?
Yeah, it is. I'm a big believer in God and that everything happens for a reason. I think that He's blessed me, and obviously my parents have helped me out a ton. So all the glory goes to God, and He's got me where I am today, and thankful.
What stood out to you about Indiana when you were kind of deciding as a high schooler?
Yeah, Coach Allen and Coach Bell. They were the ones that believed in me, and they were the only big time program to give me a chance. So. I trusted them, and I wanted to come be a part of that.
They give you a little bit of a chip on your shoulder that you didn't get maybe the recruiting teacher and that you felt like you deserved?
Yeah, it did. Obviously, I got hurt my senior year, so that added a little bit more fuel to the fire. And, whenever there's only one college that takes a chance on you, makes you want to work harder and prove them right, prove yourself right, and prove everybody else wrong.
What year was your COVID year?
Sophomore year, I believe, is whenever it happened, and then obviously carried over into junior year, and then senior year, everything got back to normal.
So how did that affect your recruiting? Obviously missing part of your senior year, having a season short. How did that?
Yeah, so pretty much everybody had their quarterback already signed early with everything going on. So, obviously I had some preferred walk-on stuff like that, and then the spot opened up here, and they came out and watched me throw and offered me, and I knew it was the place that I wanted to be. So.
You obviously got thrown into the fire at that one game against Penn State last year. Just what was that experience like for you, and how much did that kind of stick with you through the offseason?
It didn't really stick with me. I pretty much flushed it. I got here in the summer, didn't get to come and roll early, so didn't even really know what I was doing out there. I was just like, shoot, I'm just gonna go out there and have some fun with it, and rolled out to the right, throw a long ball, gets picked, not so much fun. So it felt good. To get a win this week and first college win, it was exciting.
Did it almost make it feel better to have a much better game against Penn State after that first experience you had?
Yeah, it did. I wish we would have came away with the win, but obviously a little bit more confidence boost knowing that we can be what we want to be on offense, and make a couple less mistakes from my end, and maybe we win that game. So
that whole recruiting process being a little bit delayed and everything, did that kind of also affect you not being able to enroll early?
Yeah, it did. So Indiana came and offered me in January of my senior year, and I was just about to play baseball. Told the coach, I was like, listen, I want to go play. I want to go enroll early, and something happened with my school and everything, and ended up not being able to come, so then I got to play baseball and everything. I'm glad, looking back at it, I'm glad I got to enjoy my last semester in high school, and, obviously it's a big advantage to come early, but I don't regret it.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thanks, Brandon.